Hi, I'm Peter Knight. I want to talk in this video about pitching technique. When I set myself up for the pitching, which we talked about last time, I'm doing so in a way that's going to allow me some precision with my movement. Now, a few things. If we look first of all at what my body's doing, at address, my balance is a little bit more on my left foot than on my right, but my body's actually quite straight, so there's just a gentle lean to the left. When I swing the club back, regardless of the length of the shot, so we're really only talking short pitch shots, my balance is staying on my left side. So let's say, these are sort of rough numbers. Let's say I start with, say, 70% of my balance on my left foot. When I swing back, because I've got the weight of my arms and the club on the right side of my body, that's going to affect my balance. So I've probably got about 65% of balance on my left foot. So I haven't really tried to move it. It's just moved because of the weight of my arms and the club. When the club swings down and through, my body turns back towards the left, and so at impact and after impact, now I've got 80% or more of my balance on my left side. But if I play a shot for you, you'll see that even though my balance shifts and I can feel it shift, I don't really feel like there's a massive movement, and my body also stays quite centered as I go back and through. So again, there's not a huge amount of movement in the swing. The next thing we want to do is look at swing path. This is also a good view to see how I'm aligned. So when I set myself up, I mentioned in the video on setup that my stance and my feet are aimed a tiny bit left of the target, but not a lot, maybe 5 degrees or something like that. When I swing the club back and through, I have got these clubs on the ground here pointed toward the flag there. And as the club swings back and through, the bottom of the shaft of my club is tracing a line along this shaft on the ground here. So as I go back, I'm not swinging the club out this way or around behind me. I'm keeping it on a nice, correct path, which is pretty much the same as I'm going to do for almost every shot I play. When the club swings down and through, it's going to trace back along that path and then afterwards point close to the club on the ground as I go through. So when the club swings back and through, it's always tracing a line along that target line as my body's turning. So I'm not trying to do a whole lot with it. So if I set myself up, check where the target is, and hit my shot to the flag, and I'll take that one. Now, one other thing that I want to talk about is wrist action. When the club swings back and through, my sense is that for most short pitches, I'm really not going to use my wrists very much at all. Now, if I make a practice swing, when the club goes back and through, you'll look on the video there and you'll say, but I can see your hands are moving, or your wrists are moving, or the club's hinging around your wrists. And yes, it is, but it's really the swinging weight of the club as opposed to me manipulating the club with my hands. In fact, if I hold the club in my fingertips with my right hand and swing the club back and through, again, the club is just moving around my fingertips. So there's no deliberate manipulation with my hands. As soon as I start to introduce manipulation with my hands, I'm running the risk of mishitting the ball. I want to catch the ball with a very shallow descending blow. So I'm going to hit the ball and the ground at about the same time, and maybe just bruise the ground rather than taking a big divot. If I want to hit the ground in the correct spot, it's so much easier if there's very little hand action going on. So when we look at the elements of pitch shot technique, we've looked at the body movement, so the balance stays mainly left even though your body turns back and through. We've got the swing path, which is pointing to these clubs on the ground as I go back and through. And then we've also got the fact that there's very little deliberate hand motion during the stroke. If you follow those 3 keys, that's going to help you massively with your pitching.